today's tip is something that we call the second shift will set you free. I'm going to try that again. The second shift will set you free. How many of you guys are doing this after you got off after you got off a W-2 job today? How many of you guys walked in, left your work? I'm sure that's it? Really? Okay. I would think it would be most of you guys. So I will tell you that for me, I started it seems like close to about half of you guys, which is I was working a full-time job as I was getting started in real estate investing. And I'm curious, for those of you guys who said that you're working a full-time job while you are investing, tell me what the thought process is in you doing that. Yeah?
First study, get all the knowledge possible.
First study, get all the knowledge possible.
Yeah, go for whatever opportunity arises. Actually, not the first one, but whichever looks the best.
And then go for the opportunities as they arrive. So I will tell you that I was a second shifter. So my start in real estate investing looked like in 2003, I started investing. In 2004, I got my realtor's license. And I think 2007, I got my broker's license. And when I first started investing in real estate, I was working a full-time job for the first 6 months that I was investing. And my schedule was basically my full-time job from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. And then after that, I was doing my real estate investing. So my real estate investing was from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday all day long. How many of you guys are working that shift right now? Or how many guys are open to working that shift right now? Okay, a couple of you guys. So how many of you guys are just interested in I'm ready? How many of you guys have already written your resignation letter? Okay, a couple of you guys. How many of you guys are I'm curious, how many of you are in stage 1 resignation letter, which is you know, insert profanity, insert awful person here. How many of you guys, that's stage 1 resignation letter. Sometimes it goes through some iterations before it is a stage 5 where you're ready to give it and you are kind of approaching it with a little bit more grace and gratitude. So I will tell you guys that for me, I am a left brainer. I am highly analytical. I study stuff until I know it, I practice it. Who are my left brainers, my analytical folks in here? Okay, all right. So for my left brainers, and who are my cautious left brainers too, right? So sometimes we proceed with caution. So that's why for me, I did not immediately quit my job when I decided, hey, I want to become a real estate investor. I wanted to make sure that this thing actually works. Right? I needed to prove it to myself. What was I really proving to myself? Do we know real estate investing works? What was I really proving? Who said that? Whether or not I work. Whoa. What do you guys think about that? That's a little bit of a gut punch, isn't it? I don't think she's wearing any gloves either. Yeah. She punched some of you left brainers in the gut right now. Is that true? I'm so glad you were not around when I first started investing, because that would have hurt, right? Because I was scared, right? How many of you guys are new to investing and are scared? It's okay, right? So I was scared too. And that's why I wanted to first create that income stream, right? Proving out the concept that investing in real estate actually does work, and then I left my job, right? So I was willing to work the second shift as long as it took until I was able to leave that job. For me, I was a bridge builder. Okay, I was not a ship burner, and I know all my left brainers are going to be the ones who are building the bridge, right? Just kind of slowly building that out. Left brain analytical planner, building that business plan out, right? Building those checklists, doing a lot of reading, doing a lot of studying, going to a lot of trainings, right? Now I also, and I'm curious, how many of you guys in here have these beautiful, lovely, like invisible, but you're wearing them all the time, golden handcuffs? How many of you guys are wearing golden handcuffs with your job? You're paid well, right? You're paid well, right? People, you may not love it, but you're paid well. And there's that insurance piece too. And there's that piece where you get that paid vacation, right? So do those things get in the way of us taking risks sometimes? I think that they do, right? Because they make us feel, they make us not feel worried. I had golden handcuffs as well. I was hoping to get fired. Has anybody else in here like done the rain dance, prayer dance of like, maybe I'll get fired, maybe they'll fire me, right? So the last company that I worked for, they would do a RIF, reduction in force, roughly about once a quarter, sometimes even earlier than that, depending on how the financials of the company were doing. And it was always like, we're always just, 3 months, 6 months away from the IPO, right? Until the market changes, until revenues change, et cetera. So I was hoping I would be the one that got fired. And how many of you guys, you've looked to, like they say in college, look to your right and look to your left, and these people will be eliminated at some time. Okay, it's like this is what was happening like at the last job that I worked for. And what does that mean for you when you're the last man standing? You get all their staplers and all their work, right? So I was hoping like kind of like a pick me, right? But that didn't happen. So I ultimately ended up firing them. But I will tell you, so, talking about that gut punch, right? There was fear about leaving. There were some self-limiting beliefs like, hey, can I do this? And the truth is I've done many more harder things than what I do as a real estate investor. So socially, like how many of you guys feel like I went to school and I studied for 5 years, 10 years, or more to be doing what I'm doing today? Okay, a couple of you guys. So what does that mean? That means your identity is tied to probably whatever you are doing right now. Is that hard to change? That's probably the hardest thing to change. And then what do you tell your mom and your dad who probably did what for you? Well, they raised you, right? And then they probably helped pay for some of that education to become that thing that you became. And now you tell them you're disenchanted with it? How much guts does that take? Do you really have to, in that case, really prove that this works before you go and tell them, hey, that thing you just invested in me for all of these years, now I'm quitting? And then your grandma, who's like bragging on you and showing everybody the picture of you, right? All of these things are kind of built in and wired into us. And I think, I'm a big believer in education. And I think we've all been socialized to believe that education will what? Set us free, set us up. Education will get us a good job. How many of you guys are sick of working a job? Yeah, okay. So that identity statement, and I am curious, just by raise of hands, how many of you guys are thinking, I don't know if I have time to be a real estate investor? It's okay. Okay, a couple of you guys in the back who got here late, yeah. Yeah, okay. But time is an issue too, right? Because we want to spend time doing what? Whatever we want to do. Sometimes that means time with our family. Sometimes that means time with our friends. How many people had to make some sacrifices when they were in college when it was really fun to party? Yeah, yes. Yeah, me too. So it's also about finding that time. So for me, I was a bridge builder. I had to make sure it worked before I got there. And I know some of you guys are too, but I will tell you, it does break my heart when I talk to someone who tells me, I've been investigating real estate. I've been thinking about real estate for the last year, 3 years, 5 years. That makes my stomach turn for you. Because let me tell you something about real estate. I haven't done it for coming up on 2 decades now. Every day you're probably going to learn something new. There will probably be a situation that will challenge you, okay? So I don't want you to think that, oh, well, I'm going to wait till I know everything before I do anything. That mindset will keep you exactly where you are today. Just polish up those golden handcuffs. You're going to be wearing them for a very long time. Now, we also have the people who burn the ships, right? Who hand in their resignation letter right after they decide to do real estate investing. the folks who are not turning back, who are not dipping their toe in the water, who do not have a backup plan, who do not have a fallback plan, the folks who are just like, I'm just doing it and that's what it is. I'm curious, I just want to know what you guys look like in this room. Who's there? Okay, keep your hands up. I just want to look in your faces. I want to know who you are. I want to know who you are. You guys have some guts, right? So you guys have some guts that some of the left brainers don't have. But the truth is, I would never want any of you guys to be the pilot on an airplane that I was on. Think about that.
How else are you going to learn, though?
So someone says, how else are you going to learn? Well, hopefully not over my dead body. Okay? So I mean, and I follow what you're saying.
Well, no, I'm not talking about like that level. I'm not talking about if we board a plane and I'm like, you know what, I'll fly.
Hey, I saw that movie. I watched Top Gun. It's like I kind of got this Tom Cruise look going. So I will tell you that in many occasions, what I've seen when I've met over the last 2 decades a ton of right brainers and a ton of left brainers. The left brainers have this incredibly long runway, but by the time the left brainers take off, your stomach's not jumping out of your body, right? It's very smooth. My right brainers, when they're taking off, it's very bouncy at the beginning. But the truth is, for the most part, they all get there at the same time. Right brain a little bouncier, left brain a little longer, right? But we all hit our stride and have that waterfall moment at a different time, and it takes a little bit of each of us, right, to make this entire world go round. But I will encourage you guys. I do want to encourage my left brainers to just relax from the standpoint of knowing that you will never know it all. Knowing that 20 years later, I do not know it all, and know that 20 years later, I'm still learning. And now I'm someone who loves the learning and loves the journey. It's part of my DNA. And then also know that one of the most beautiful things for left brainers and right brainers alike, for both of them really, they've built something beautiful into our Trek contract. What have they built into the contract that you guys should all be using as a real estate investor? It's an option period. So what does that mean? If you screw something up really terribly, awfully badly, guess what you can still do? You can still exercise your option to terminate. So I want that to give some relief to my left brainers out there, but I don't want my right brainers to go too wild, knowing that at the same time. But I do want you to kind of recognize what type you are in. And I will tell you that for me, it was committing to that second shift that set me free. And because of that, I'm often quoted as saying, the second shift will set you free, right? What we do in our spare time, right? How we dedicate our time to growth, to learning, to getting outside of our comfort zone, and even in many cases, getting outside of our identity is really where the magic happens. So, and I will tell you, there's an incredible amount of magic that can happen when it comes to real estate. So since I started the second shift and since I quit that job, I haven't had to work for anyone else. And I haven't had to update my resume. I haven't had to ask someone if I could have time off or go to the bathroom or if I could hang out with my family. So what that looks like for me is I get to do what I want with whom I want and when I want to do all of those things. So for me, it is about getting to do those things with the people that you love when you want to do them, right? And it's also about being rewarded for your investment of time and your investment of knowledge, and not being looking at what salary.com says that you are worth, right? And not looking at what your neighbors at work and saying what you are worth. So for me, real estate and starting it through the second shift has given me a life of service, of purpose, of joy, of abundance, of income that equals my investment of time and knowledge and wealth. And I think that's probably why all of you guys are here. Is that correct?
I'm ready to start.
I'm ready to start. Yeah, somebody's ready to dawn a new day tonight. Now is good. So is now. So I will tell you guys, start that second shift. Get uncomfortable. That's where incredible amounts of opportunity lie. And guys, as we wrap up the tip of the week, I will tell you we have probably about 75 more tips of the week about navigating this market that we are in right now, and several different items on there. So I'd love for you guys to join us on our YouTube channel and our podcast and check out those tips of the week so that you can figure out what it looks like to be a real estate investor. So thank you guys for watching, pardon me, that tip of the week.